Hello and a huge welcome. If you're tuning in, chances are you're holding a Subclass 173 visa grant letter. And if so, first off, a massive congratulations. That is no small feat. Today, we're going to break down everything you need to know to make your first 2 years in Australia an absolute success, kicking things off with your very first and most critical deadline. But seriously, just take a second to let that sink in. Getting this visa is a huge deal. All that paperwork, all that waiting, it's finally over. You're officially on your way, and your amazing new life in Australia is about to begin. It's a super exciting time, and we're just here to help make these next steps as clear and simple as possible. All right, so amidst all the celebration and planning, there's one date you absolutely, positively cannot afford to miss. It's your very first, and you could argue it's the most important deadline of them all. So what exactly is it? It's called your first entry arrival date. If you can, go ahead and grab your visa grant letter right now. You'll see this date printed right on it. This is the non-negotiable deadline. It's the date you have to physically arrive in Australia to officially activate your visa. You really can't overstate how important this is. Okay, but what if life gets in the way and you just can't make that date? First, don't panic, but you do need to take action. The Department of Home Affairs has a system in place where you can request what's called a travel facilitation letter. But here's the crucial detail, and the timing is everything. You can only submit this request when you are less than 3 months away from that deadline. That's a really important window to have marked on your calendar. So, let's fast forward. You've planned your trip, you're on the plane. What actually happens when you land? Let's walk through what to expect when you get to the Australian border, just to make sure everything goes as smoothly as possible. It's actually a pretty simple two-step process. First, every single person in your traveling party needs to fill out an incoming passenger card. Pro tip, they usually hand these out on the plane so you can get it all done before you even land. Second, if you have an e-passport, keep an eye out for the smart gates. They're these automated gates that use facial recognition and can get you through immigration and out into the arrivals hall way faster. And you're in. Welcome to Australia. Your visa is now officially active. For the next 2 years, this visa comes with a fantastic set of rights and, of course, a few really important responsibilities. So let's dive into what those are. And that number right there is key. 2 years. The Subclass 173 visa is a temporary visa, so from the moment you arrive, a 2-year clock starts ticking, and it's super important to always know exactly where you are on that timeline. So how do you keep track of that 2-year clock and all the details of your visa? Well, there's a fantastic online tool for that, and it's called VEVO. That stands for Visa Entitlement Verification Online. Think of it as your own personal digital visa label. It's the official government website where you can, at any time, check your visa's expiry date, see all its conditions. It is your single source of truth for everything related to your visa status. This here really breaks down the balance of your new life in Australia. On one side, you have some incredible rights. You can work here and you're protected by Australian workplace laws. Plus, you can travel in and out of the country freely. But on the other side, you've got some clear responsibilities. You have to meet all your visa conditions, you have to obey Australian laws, and, this one's a big one, you must let the department know if your situation changes. Let's just focus on that travel point for a second, because it's a huge benefit. This is a direct quote from the Department of Home Affairs, and it says it all. As long as your visa is valid, you can come and go as you please. That's a fantastic piece of freedom to have. You know, those 2 years are going to go by faster than you think. And for most people holding this visa, the ultimate goal is to stay here permanently. So let's talk about the next step and how this temporary visa is designed to get you there. I mean, this is the big question, right? If your answer is yes, and for many it is, then you absolutely need a plan, because your Subclass 173 visa is quite literally a stepping stone to something more permanent. And here is that plan. This is your pathway forward. The very next step on your journey is to apply for the Contributory Parent visa, which is Subclass 143. You can think of it as the permanent version of the visa that you have right now. Okay, and this right here is probably the most critical piece of information for your long-term future in Australia. Let me be really clear. You cannot extend your 2-year temporary visa. There's no renewal option. You must apply for the permanent Subclass 143 visa before your current one expires. It's a hard deadline. Now, you can see that in very rare, exceptional cases, you can contact the Parent Visa Center, but that's not something to rely on. The key is to plan ahead. So there you have it. That's the breakdown of your Subclass 173 visa. We've covered that all-important first entry date, your rights and responsibilities, and now the very clear pathway to making Australia your permanent home. Your 2-year clock is officially ticking. So the only question left is, are you ready to start planning for what comes next?